Hello, Thrivers. How are we all doing? Yesterday, we started with a very interesting topic showing up as the best version of yourself. Today, we are talking about be patient with your process. Can we have this conversation, please? Be patient with your process. What next after this? Don't confuse it. Being patient with your process is not the same thing as being lazy. So don't be laid back and say, I'm trusting the process and all that, because that's not the way it works. We all confuse noise and so much activity with work, with value. That's not the way it works. Because at times there might be so much noise and nothing is going on. And there might be so much silence and a lot is going on. The reason why I'm talking about this is that, at times we constantly confuse that if you're not there, constantly vibing, constantly producing, constantly being visible, it's like you're falling behind. It's a lie. That's not the way it works. So you might be there at work, there's nothing happening, like your promotion has been silent, you moving forward has been silent, you're doing something that you don't like, you're in a role you don't like, you're looking at your friends, you're not doing as good as they are. Now, all those things will make you disturbed in life. But what exactly are you doing? Are you patient with your process? But while being patient, are you doing something behind the scenes that people are not seeing? So back to my story. I was talking about, there was a time I was doing something industry-wide and I wasn't getting any visible I wasn't getting any visible applause. It was like I wasn't doing nothing. But I know I was doing a lot because people from other financial organizations were reaching out to me to solve problems that they were encountering while we're doing this testing phase. And I knew that I was doing a lot. I talked about the 4 a.m. to 4 a.m., doing a whole stretch 24 hours. But what kept me going was that I was patient with myself, because it got to a time that day I went into the bathroom, I just put on the shower and I sat down and I wept. After weeping, I didn't feel bad for myself. I said, I'm going to learn everything I need to learn from this project, because it's going to determine different things that will happen in my life going forward. So I put the grit, I put the time, I put the energy, I learned, I unlearned. I did everything possible to be the best version of myself during that project. And, at the end of the day, it's always ending. It's always a very good ending. I was told to leave that unit, move to another unit. I didn't want to go. And